All right, guys, I'm going to give you a quick summary of what I read, and then I'm going to sum up the videos in the back so you can take a look. So far, because it's quite a bit that we went through, I want to give you a summary here. This is quite a bit right here. Uh, Rebekah, who couldn't have children in the beginning, she ended up finally conceiving, just like Sarah did. This is Isaac's wife, Rebekah. She had 2 sons in her womb, and they were twins. And the Lord said, you have 2 nations. Because she was saying, why are these children struggling so much in me? Why am I going through this torment and labor and, and pain and suffering as she was having these children? So, Rebekah was Isaac's wife. Isaac had Rebekah, but then, they have children by the maids and things like that. But Abraham had a first son named Ishmael. Remember, Ishmael was born from Hagar, which was the Egyptian. And the Lord said, I will make Ishmael a great nation. That became the Ishmaelites. Remember I told you? So there's a nation called the Ishmaelites, and then there's a nation called the Israelites, the Israelite nation, which was, one is of bond and one is of free. So the slave nation that was born of Ishmael, they said this was a black. This was of a black person. Then you got the other child that was born of his, that was Isaac, that was born of Sarah, the one child that was born named Isaac. Now Isaac also did the same thing. He had a child of love and a child of bond. He had it's a lot to explain here. He had Jacob and Esau. No, it's so confusing. This is so much going on. Isaac had married and had Jacob and Esau, I believe. Was it Isaac? He had Jacob and Esau. But Abraham had Ishmael and Isaac. Now, Isaac was a son of true blood from Abraham and Sarah. But he had already, 15 years or 20 years prior, had Ishmael. Ishmael was already born. And this was of the slave woman. So you had a birth of a slave woman, you have a birth of a real free woman that, one was of love, one was of you trying to make the child come here. They kind of made a baby come here because this what the wife Sarah said, you go in there and have a baby with my husband or whatever. But God blessed the baby anyhow, because he said anything coming through the womb, I being the Lord am the creator of life, I'm going to bless it and let it be prosperous in the earth. It didn't matter whether the child came here black, white, red, or green. The child would be blessed because the Lord allowed the baby to come into the womb of the woman and come in and spring forth new life. So it didn't matter about what was going on the outside. So let me tell you what happened. Let me try to break this all down to you. I'm going to give you the details of Genesis 26 through 30, but I'm going to tell you about what's going on. Rebekah. And people look at this today, when they look at these programs, they say, how can a woman have a black and a white child? And they say, how did this start happening? This did not happen in the mixing of nothing. This happened in the Bible. Rebekah had 2 colors. She had a baby that was real red, and then she had a baby that was dark. She had 2 races of babies that came out of her womb from one man. And I almost want to say that the grandfather, Abraham, had some mixing of the bloodline. This is how the baby got like this, because sometimes because of some things that happened before, the new babies coming in will be sort of touched by what happened before. That's what I kind of believe. I kind of believe because he had Hagar and then he had his wife, that he had black and white. He had this thing going on. So now your grandbabies come in here, different colors out of the womb. Rebekah had Esau. Esau was red. Jacob Jacob was darker. And it said Jacob grabbed Esau's heel coming out. But Esau was born first. So they said the baby was holding the heel of the other baby coming out. Ain't that crazy? So, the babies came in here in a torment. They came here. Because she said, why are these babies battling in my stomach? She asked the Lord, why is this going on with me during her pregnancy? And she asked her husband, she said, what's going on with these babies? And so here we go, the birth of nations. You have the Ishmaelites coming from Ishmael. The original Hagar had the Egyptian lady. She had birthed the Arab nation, had the Ishmaelites, and then the grandson, Abraham's grandson, Abraham's grandson had Isaac's son, had Jacob and Esau from Rebekah, had two different colors of children. Two different sons with two different makeups. So now you got the older nation that is already established. You got the Ishmaelite nation, and then the grandson started the Israel. You have the Israelite nation. So you got the Ishmaelite, the Israelite. You got different colors of people here coming in because of the birth line and the way that they started coming in here through the marriages and the mixing of things. The maid servant, the wife, the maid servant, the wife, can't have children, trying to make babies come in, all these different things of the wheels of life where the Lord should will it and not the people, but they want to will it into action. So now they got the mixing of the races. This started back in Genesis. The mixing of the races started back in Genesis when they started conceiving from outside the marriage. They started this back in Genesis where, my husband want a baby, let him have it with someone else and we'll call it ours, because they thought they couldn't do it. And so now it don't matter what color the person was, the woman was, she was young and she was able to do it. They were mixing other babies all the way down the line. But later on, these babies became various nations and territories. Because they didn't stay babies. They grew up to become men and women. And they mind and thinking of where they came from went with that area and that territory. So now you got a nation of Arabs. Now you got a nation of Jewish people, Israelites. You got the black Israelites. People say that they're black Israelites. You got different mixes of Jewish people, Israelite. You got the Palestinians. You got the Arabs. All over here in the mixing bowl in one area, all the way along the Asian Red Sea, all over there, the mixing of the bowl of cultures, all over there. And this started all the way back in Genesis, right here in the Bible. You see this from birth. And the Lord told him, you're going to have, she told the wife, don't worry, you got two nations of people in your belly. And it came out to be two nations. But I'm going to continue to tell you a lot of things about these nations. Now, right now, you got the battle of the Palestine, the Israelis. You got this battle going on over there over territory and land, because some of them occupied from old settlers that were there, their parents or whatever, all the way back here in the Bible. So it was not always just about the Jews. It was about other races. It was about the Arab nations, the Palestinians, everybody, the Hamas, they come about the Shiite Muslims, all different kinds. Now, it doesn't matter who's in control. It's just that everybody wants a piece of the pie because they feel like that their parents settled there first, but they all were there because they all came in through these birth lines right here in the Bible. I'm telling you, the Lord had it all ready in the Bible, but it was never meant for people to argue and toil over what was there. It's just meant to continue to grow the land and to continue to be under the Lord. But now, because people become greedy and all of that, self-control of whatever is given in the world, it's always a fight. Somebody want more, somebody want less, somebody want to do this. So we're going to continue to read about the lines of what's going on with the birthing of the children and everything. But the one thing the Lord did tell Abraham, I don't care if it's outside of the marriage or inside of the marriage, the male must be circumcised to have a covenant with me, the Lord God Almighty. He said he must be circumcised. That's how the Lord told him. And he said, if he's circumcised and he comes under my will, praying to me, then I will keep covenant with him. He must come by faith. To be a son of God, you have to be circumcised. And this started in the Bible. And believe it or not, people still circumcise their children today. When their children are born male, they're like, let me go take them and get circumcised. You got the first 2 weeks to get them circumcised. So anyway, I'm going to talk to you some more about it later. I'm going to put down some notes back here. And we're going to keep going on with the history of how the cultures begin. Goodbye.